Here at the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington, every day and every way, we bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe, who you are, what you love, and who you love. Your whole self is welcome here. It is important that you showed up today. Gathering in community is an act of rebellion against isolation and hopelessness. Knowing this to be true, please repeat after me. We are rebels for hope. We are rebels for hope. And that we are. My name is Ellen Greenya, and I'm your service leader today. My pronouns are she, they. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether enjoying the service in person or watching online. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today. We're so glad that you've joined us. Please take a moment now to silence any digital devices you have nearby and bring your attention to this time together. We have a bunch of announcements. After today's service, there will be a newcomer meetup in our fellowship hall downstairs at the table with the flowers. This is a great way to learn more about our community and meet other newcomers. Directly after the service, there will be a town hall meeting presented by the Minister Search Committee. Please stay here in the Meeting House Sanctuary to learn more about the current status of the Minister Search. Please join Save the World tonight in Adams Hall at 7 p.m. to pack whistle kits. These kits are protecting our neighbors, literally saving lives. We have the supplies, you just bring your paper folding skills. I have one that's not on the slides, but the fundraising committee is holding a spaghetti dinner fundraiser on Friday, February 20th from 5 to 7:30 p.m. Come enjoy delicious spaghetti, regular or gluten-free, with choice of red sauce and turkey meatballs or vegan. The tickets are $12 for adults, $8 for kids under 12, kids under 5, eat free, eat in or take out. And to help fundraising committee plan for this event, please register online. No money is due. Pay at the door or there is a QR code that will be found downstairs. Membership Committee presents a UUCF karaoke night on February 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. It's very popular. Join us on Saturday, February 21st from 6 to 9 in Adams Hall for karaoke. Come to sing or just enjoy the community. Adults and kids of all ages are welcome. Membership will be providing light appetizers and refreshments, but you are welcome to bring a dish to pass as well. Questions? Please see any member of the membership committee or reach out to the chair, Liz Knight. As conditions worsen for our friends in shelter, we have an ongoing need for diapers, all sizes, and wipes. There are about 30 kids in diapers in the shelter, and as every parent knows, they use a lot of diapers. Please keep those donations coming. You can always leave them in the white bin in the foyer or on the red bin downstairs, or ask a committee member for help. Our little free pantry has become popular in our community. Neighbors are sharing what they can and taking what they need. We are in need of some of the more popular items and hope you can help. Can you donate any of the following? Canned pouch tuna chicken, cereal in small boxes, peanut butter, hygiene and household products, bottled water. Please place any donations in or near the red bin in Adams Hall. Thanks. Opportunities for connection this week. Monday, there is an AA meeting. There's also choir on Monday night. Tuesday, there's men's lunch. Wednesday evening, there's program council. For our chalice lighting, we begin service by lighting the chalice, which is the symbol of the faith that we share with the words from our mission statement. Please join in reading our mission statement in unison. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. Our opening song is number 18 in the Gray Hymnal, What Wondrous Love. Please join us in body or spirit.
Hello. Hi. My name is Argo, if you do not know me. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them. And this is the Wonder Box. And if you do not know what the Wonder Box is, it is something that we use in our multi-generational services and our classrooms as a way of bringing our kind of big picture themes and topics for the day into real objects that we can focus on. And sometimes I shake the box around and we have some really good guessers on what sounds are in the box. But today, I cannot shake the box. Because what is inside of it? Here are your hints. It's delicate. I can't shake the box. What is inside of it I could only put in the box a couple minutes before I came in here because it doesn't like to be in the dark. Yes, Jude? Food? Maybe food. Micah? Puppy. I didn't. You are right in that I wouldn't shake a puppy in a box. But I don't think it's a puppy. Talia. Brass? Glass. Okay, you couldn't shake glass. Glass. There is a glass piece. So, all right, without further ado. Didn't fall down. I have two things in here. So you were right, I do have some glass, and I also, so snaps to you, and I also have a plant. So a plant does not like to be in the dark, would not like to be shaken around, could break. And I also have this, which is a little pot that we would plant in the spring. It has little dirt and little seeds in there, but the seeds are so small you can't even see them. And this would one day grow all the way into this. Yes, Tibby? A plant is a sign of life. You're very right. And that is what we're talking about today. We are talking about our monthly theme, which is embodying resilience. Last month we were practicing resistance. This month we're embodying resilience. And today we're talking about embodying resilience with taking inspiration through nature. So how something could be so resilient to turn in from a tiny, tiny, tiny seed and turn some water and some sunlight into a live plant. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit today. I have a story because there's actually a special holiday that falls on today that talks all about springtime coming. So today, we are discussing a holiday called Imbolc. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of that before. Awesome, some people. Imbolc is a pagan holiday celebrated between the winter solstice, which is in December, and the spring equinox, which is later in the spring. It is celebrated from February 1st, which is today, through the sunset of February 2nd. Imbolc has ancient roots in Celtic history and lore, with roots tracing back all the way to before Christianity even existed. The celebration is closely related to the goddess Bridgid, who we'll be talking about in just a bit. The focus of this celebration is to welcome the return of the light as the darkest weeks are behind us. This time also invites people to set intentions for the coming spring. Imbolc is celebrated by Wiccans and pagans and has inspired other holidays such as St. Bridget's Day or Candlemas. When we discuss stories from other faith traditions, it helps us live our UU value of pluralism. And this month, like I said, we're thinking about embodying resilience. And what better way to do that than by looking at stories already told? So Bridgid, up there, is one of the most revered goddesses in Celtic mythology. She embodies a triad of powerful aspects of fostering new life, healing, and inspiration for the arts, specifically poetry. She herself represents the earth's ability to nurture and sustain and grow new life. The Celtic story is that each year at Imbolc, today, Bridgid would descend from the heavens and bless the earth below with her presence. Her arrival is celebrated as a time of light, joy, and renewal. Now, I invite you to join me in a brief body prayer as I retell the story of Bridgid's descent. So now everyone, kids, teens, adults, will you please take a deep breath? Feel your seat against the wood, your feet on the floor, if they reach the floor. Take a breath and inhale this space that has held so much history, so much love, joy, and growth nestled into our own little corner of nature. And now imagine beneath us, beneath Adams Hall, which is directly beneath us, is the earth. And it is resting, it is quiet and patient. This winter has been long. The snow is deep, the cold is bitter, the trees look asleep. And the ground, with grass long since covered in icy layers and snow, it looks like nothing is happening at all. But we know better, don't we? If you think the earth is secretly getting ready for spring, whether it feels like it or not, wiggle your fingers like tiny little roots waking up. Have you noticed the days are getting brighter and brighter? Good. In this story, Long ago in Ireland, people believed that at Imbolc, the goddess Bridgid returned to walk the land. She is the bringer of the warmth, creativity, healing, and the first spark of spring. Let's imagine her together. Everyone, hold your hands like you're cupping a tiny, tiny flame. It's small, it's gentle, but it's warm. This is Bridgid's flame, the flame of beginnings. Now, in the story, Bridgid steps out onto the cold earth, and with each step, she listens. She listens for seeds that are trying their best to grow. She listens for animals, maybe far underground, who are waiting for new life. She listens to people who may feel like they will not make it through this seemingly endless winter. If you've ever felt tired or stuck or like things were taking a long time to change or finish, raise your hand. Bridgid sees all of that. And she kneels down, she touches the frozen ground, and she whispers, even now, life is returning. Everyone, tap the floor or your chair gently, like a heartbeat under the earth. Bridgid's warmth doesn't melt all the snow at once. It doesn't make the flowers pop up instantly, especially in Michigan, where this holiday is celebrated February 1st. But it does something important. It reminds everything, seeds, animal, people, that they already have the strength to keep going. That's resilience. The earth shows us its resilience every winter. It rests, it waits, it gathers strength, and then slowly, bravely, it begins again. The trees regrow their leaves on branches once barren. Let's practice that. Take your cupped hands again, the little flame, and lift it up just a bit. Not too high, just enough to say, I'm still here. I'm still growing. That's resilience too. Bridgid walks the land, and wherever she goes, she doesn't force things to bloom. She simply encourages them. She says, you don't have to be finished. You just have to begin. So today, as we celebrate Imbolc, we remember, even when we can't see progress, something is growing. Even the smallest spark can warm a whole heart. And like the earth, we can rest, gather strength, and begin again. Now gently blow on your imaginary flame, just enough to help it glow brighter, not enough to put it out. And that is Bridgid's gift. Thank you.
Through the sharing of joys and sorrows, we make space every Sunday for authentic and vulnerable sharing, which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. We make space every Sunday for authentic and vulnerable sharing. You are invited to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. You are welcome to come pick up a stone or stones from the table, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the singing bowl, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please come up and speak directly into the microphone. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways. We light 3 candles for the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. One for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the strength of the gathered community that can support you and bring you peace.
Let's take all the energy, and we know that there are joys and sorrows that are unspoken in our hearts, things that have been happening both personally, in our family, and in the world. We know all of that to be true, whether we say it out loud or not. So let us take this moment of space here together and just take a deep breath in, feel it within ourselves. Release that energy that maybe is holding you in worry or fear. Notice what you've brought in today, your own worries. And for this moment, while we're here, to let that go and continue to experience our collective joy, our collective resilience. Let's take another moment together. Today, I would like to share with you a prayer that was written in November 2016 that was in the beginning of, I believe, this period of time. It's a prayer that calls for unity and connection, written by Sarah Eileen Lawal. She writes, "Spirit of life and love, I ask you to call in spirit of whatever brings you joy and connection, relationship. In this time of uncertainty, of fear and angst, our nation holds its collective breath. In this time when rhetoric blusters about and words are used as weapons, our nation clenches its fists, tightens its shoulders, eyes squeezed shut. May we remember we are a people of resilience. We have faced uncertainty before. We have weathered storms. We have been consumed by flames. We have risen like the phoenix from the ashes, and we will again. We, the people. May we remember our shared humanity, our universal kinship, our interdependence, as we unclench our fists and breathe together. Breathing in love and breathing out peace. May we recognize the spark of the divine inside us all when I ask our children on the front row to be quiet just a minute. Even those we are not quite sure about, we hold out our hands to them as well. In this time of uncertainty, may we remember the good will go on as we work to move forward together, we, the people, seeking that which unites us with our arms reaching out wide for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. May love prevail. In the name of all that is holy, all that reminds us that we are a community, that we have each other, and much further beyond. In the name of everything that matters to us and that we hold dear, we pray. Amen. Our meditation song today is Julian Taylor singing his song, Seeds.
Now here you are, you're in full flower. You're flexible in all your power. You got all the sunlight in the air that you need. They tried to bury you, but they didn't know you were seeds. Now here you stand hour after hour, strong as an oak, tall as a tower. The storm keeps raging, but you never pay no heed. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday. Now see you shining strong and clear. No one can stop a good idea. Nobody like you. There's nobody like you. I was a flower, I was an oak. I was provoked, and when I awoke, I started grazing for all the things that I need. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday. They knocked you down, erased your name. You stood your ground and wouldn't change. You found your place now, standing alongside the trees. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. You are a star and you are hope. Smoke signals in the air evoke from the darkest depths that our hearts can be freed. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everything eventually dreams. Someday, somehow, everyone eventually dreams. Someday.
Every month for our multi-gen services in particular, we try really hard to do something interactive. And I know that today we've kind of been a lower energy day because it's also, February 1st, we acknowledge that the earth is still sleeping. So in some ways, we are kind of still sleeping, kind of trying to come out of the darkness that we're experiencing with both with the snow and the darkness we're experiencing in the world. And in case you were unsure, yes, we are abolishing ICE, no matter what. These are one of the many, many stands that we take for human rights in our world. And it's hard to talk today, isn't it? Like the world has been really dark, but yet we still do believe that renewal will come. That is one of the things that I actually love about spring, is that I believe that in a few weeks, maybe a month, a little bit more, we're going to see some trees, we're having some green buds. We will. I saw some cardinals at our bird feeders yesterday. That kind of stuff brings me hope. And I hope that it brings you hope as well. So our interactive element today is actually about the practice that we think is important, especially in winter, of listening. Now, listening doesn't sound very exciting. It's not very much, we're not jumping around, we're not doing a whole lot of stuff. But listening takes a lot of work. Ever really tried to listen to somebody? Ever really, really tried to listen to somebody? It takes a lot of work. It takes your intention and your energy, because you have to be focused on what is this person actually saying. So we're going to, in a few minutes, don't be jumping ahead yet, but in a few minutes, we're going to ask you to break into groups of 3, if possible. But we want you to think on ways, but we're going to practice. So practice, when we talked about practice, what does the word practice mean again? Anybody? What do we do when we practice? Yes, we do it over and over and over again. So we're practicing listening. So sometimes when we practice, we're not always getting it right? So like our musicians here, like you practice and practice and practice, and even in the moment you may not get it right, but you just keep practicing, right? So we're practicing listening. And so what I'm going to ask you to do with this practicing listening is that when you get into the groups, we're going to give you 3 questions, and we're going to put them both up on the wall, and our ushers are going to hand them out, but not yet. So they're going to hand out these questions. And so in the groups, then what I want is for the group itself to decide which of the 3 of you are going to answer which of one of the 3 questions. So because the trick is that you're not listening to respond, okay? So our world, we've been told that we have to listen to, oh, what is the thing that I connect with on this thing? Or somebody tells you about the cold they're having, and then you're like, oh, let me tell you about the time I had this horrible cold. We're not doing that. We're listening so that we're holding a space for the other person to share their thoughts on the question. And then when that person is done, we're going to give an overall time, not a time for each person. So we're going to trust the group to figure this out. But when the person is done speaking with whatever their question is, we're just going to respond with, within your group, these words. Thank you. Let's try that together. Thank you. Yes. And so when the next person starts with their response, they're not going to jump in and say, let me tell you about whatever. Okay? Because they're just going to answer their question. Do you think we can do this? Okay. Because listening is also, I think it's also a part of embodying, because what part of our bodies do we use? Ears, our brains, our hearts. Yeah, it's full embodiment. And so towards that end, because we are looking at some of the questions around Bridgid, I just love this story because it's very much about renewal and reminding ourselves that everything does return in the beginnings, obviously. So if our ushers, Joe and Denise, could go ahead and pass out the questions. And these are our questions. How does resting and waiting help us or you become more resilient and grow stronger? What is something inside you that is growing, even if no one else can see it? Because I saw a bunch of hands earlier on some of the questions around sometimes things that can be stuck in our lives. Maybe there's something in you that you're working on that maybe you haven't even told somebody else about yet. How can we help each other grow and be strong in difficult times? So these questions are coming around, but so I'm going to ask you to go ahead right now, stand up, go find 2 people you did not come here with. And then so from wherever you are, go find some people. Go ahead and find your people. Find your people and sit down, and you can begin listening. Find some people. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. 2 minutes. If you want to come back to your seat or be, is this microphone on? Okay. Okay. Could you handle the mic for a second? So we're going to do a little practice because most of the time when there's group things like this, then people want to know what is the response to the questions. I want to know, what was it like to practice speaking without being interrupted? Can anybody answer that? Definitely hold on, you have to wait for a microphone.
Hi, Damon Williams, he, they, pronouns. I was just saying it's definitely way different than when I'm teaching in my classroom, that's for sure.
Anybody else a thought on what speaking without being interrupted?
I found that it was something that I was not used to. And it was not necessarily uncomfortable, but it was just unfamiliar.
I found it was actually hard to know when to stop speaking.
Okay, so moving on, what was it like to listen without jumping in and sharing about yourself? I see you did. Okay.
It was actually really freeing because I felt like I wasn't obligated to add something or put in a new thought. It was very relaxing and freeing, and I loved it.
Great.
You can respect someone with, you can not speak over them and just actually listen. And it feels like nice for someone to actually understand.
Oh.
Feels nice for both of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
It was hard.
It was hard. Yes.
I think culturally it's difficult for us here in the West, but I do remember my Japanese friends who have a cultural habit that when they are not finished speaking, they go tss, and everyone knows not to break in because they're not finished. And it's an interesting cultural practice that works very well for them, and it's perhaps something we should learn from. Is
Okay, one more response, then we're moving on. Barb is, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Hi, Bruce Wolf, and I'm preparing for a career change to become a tour director working in the tourism industry. And the stereotype is that tour directors talk. It's like a tour guide. But I'm learning that actually there's an awful lot of listening involved as well. So that's something that's going to be a challenge as well, because in a leadership role, listening is at least as important as speaking.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you being willing to continue to try new things. Actually, I'm going to take that from you. So also every month we have what we call a membership moment where somebody comes up and shares a little bit. So this morning we don't have a designated speaker. So I've asked a couple people to be willing to just answer a quick question of what do you enjoy about being a member? And Linda has said she would say, tell us so. What?
Boy, well, what do I enjoy about being a member is too many things to say. So, but being here with a group like this on an ongoing basis, and just mornings like this where we can talk to each other and listen to each other, and you know, the love and the support that I've received from this community over the years has just been spectacular.
Thank you. And every month we hear a similar response from everybody who stood up here talking about how amazing it is to be a part of this community. And I think that being a part of a community where you've dedicated yourself, like last week we had a membership recognition, deciding that you are going to throw your lot in with other people who are also rowing in the same direction is also a form of resistance and resilience. So thank you to all of you. And now we will have our offering.
Our offering words are by Kayla Parker. We know that our financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work. We are so grateful for this and commit together to ensure the funds we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. May this offering sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation. May we give in love and in hope. As the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation, you may also give online via the QR code on the back of the order of service. The morning offering will now be greatly received.
Faith is the bird that feels the
feels the light and sings when the dawn is still dark.
Oh, faith is the bird that feels the light, the bird that feels the light. The bird that feels the light.
Please join me in reciting the offertory blessing that can be found in your order of service and behind me. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
There is a poem by Kaveh Akbar called Wild Pear Tree that I read like 3 or 4 years ago. And the opening line reads, "It's been January for months in both directions." And I find myself thinking of it every year like clockwork in these long, dark, cold months. In nature, the word wintering refers to when a species migrates or does something special for winter. The birds fly south, the turtles, snakes, and frogs that our youth were catching and trying to bring into Adams Hall mere months ago have now burrowed underground to brumate. Our chipmunks are digging into complex underground burrows to hibernate. In nature, all of these forms of wintering are survival mechanisms. The decreasing daylight hours, the cold temperatures, the internal clocks tell these animals it's time to retreat for winter. And this isn't a new concept or idea, but I see wintering in people too. The days get shorter. Sometimes it feels like the light and warmth will never come back. We somehow manage to forget just how cold the winter night gets despite living them every year. Back in 2016, another particularly harsh winter, both literally and metaphorically, my family hosted a foreign exchange student from Germany. It was only mid-December on the first snowstorm when he asked my dad, "It's not going to get any colder than this, right?" He was unfamiliar with temperatures this frigid and snows this intense and had a rude awakening come January. Midwesterners, Michiganders, we are built for this. We as a people, we know how to winter. And that goes beyond our knowledge of hand warmers and the perfect layering method needed to stay warm while shoveling the driveway for the 3rd time that week. We know what it's like to keep going in the harshest conditions, to show up to work when it's -25. Some of us retreat into our homes, but just like we know that the leaves will come back and the snakes will once again emerge to be captured, we know that these days will get brighter and warmer too. We know how to hunker down through the worst of it and emerge out the other side. We know how to protect our neighbors who can't. We, as a country and as a community, have become very good at wintering. So I leave you with this. We have seen winters this harsh before, both metaphorically and literally. We have weathered storms and wintered through the hardest conditions, and our family who came before us did the same. We will make it through this cold. Spring is on the way. Thank you.
So I want us to think on the ways that we embody. What does it mean to, and embody is just such a weird word to me. I think it just means live within the physical body we've arrived on this planet in. Somehow we arrived in this body and we have this long relationship with our body. It's the only one that we'll ever get, and things can change on it, but this is the one we have, right? So how do we make space for it? How do we make, sometimes we have to forgive our bodies. Maybe it's done, there's something that's happened, or maybe there's something that's going on with it. Sometimes we feel separate from our bodies in many different ways. But what if we could practice embodying in terms of feeling the moment, remembering that we are in this together, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the ways that we do embodiment here in our worship or service time. So what are some ways, like even today, that you've showed up, that you have been in your body, that we have done together? We've done meditation. When we sing, you sing both sitting and standing, right? Many times you're offered to stand. Joys and sorrows. So when I started here, joys and sorrows was only from somebody standing at the mic. So one thing that it took us a couple months with the service committee where we talked through how can we make joys and sorrows something physical, that people can participate whether they feel comfortable speaking or not. What is another way we can do this? But also, what is a way that we can do this that doesn't cause a whole lot of extra work for people? You know, we're always balancing those things out. So that's why we added the stones. And because it's a way that people can come up and put their energy in, and they can feel that connection without having to come up and necessarily even say their name. But you can feel that that person in some way has something on their heart. And we see them, we hear it with our ears, we feel all the different ways that we physically come into this space and we embody resilience together. Embodiment is our whole selves, our lungs, our hearts, all the ways that we experience being together. We show up together. Some ways I feel like I forget all the ways, like even Diana playing, she has to play with her hands. Like some of the ways that we've talked about how she adjusts songs based on what she can do with her hand movements. You know, every way that we feel like we've forgotten, you know, writing takes sitting down at a keyboard or with a pencil. We have to embody our whole physical selves. I believe that the more we can get connected with this is my body, this is myself, doing this thing, that the more we get connected and think about how do I embody resilience together. I would like you to just think on that over the course of the month and some of the ways that we're going to explore that together with some of our services. So if this is your first Sunday here, I welcome you and to know that every Sunday is different, and this month especially we're really embodying what does it feel like to be present together. So we are going to close out our service today. The choir is going to come up and help us sing "The Tide is Rising," and we're going to have all the words up on the screen. If you want to come on up. And I want you to imagine the tide rising. Imagine the space of what does it feel like to be with a tide, and what does it feel like being together as we all sing together. This is "The Tide is Rising" by Rabbi Friedman. And I encourage you to sing along. The words are up on the wall.
Tide is rising, and so are we.
Let us join together. Stay right there. Stay. No, don't move. Let us join together in our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this chalice with an open heart. We are building a better world together. We are becoming better people together. We are living our lives together. We don't have to do it alone. Amen.